Lovers, I have a special treat. I have Christian Gray Snow, who's been doing the damn thing for a while now. I don't know how you come up with the fucking memes that you come up with.
I don't either, to be honest.
I'm like, not every time you do it, I'm like, how does your brain work backwards? Like, do you think of what you want to say and then you find the clip?
Both ways. So, like a lot of times, I'll see something like, if it's a moment on one of the episodes, or if news breaks about something, I'll immediately, something will come to mind, some sort of moment from Housewives over the years that I can,
So
apply it
it's like
to. And
just
if
a
not
catalog
Housewives,
really in
something.
your
Yeah.
head.
Oh, yeah. It's just up here. And then otherwise, like, there are times where I try to post like carousels, like as wrap ups of shows. So,
Uh-huh.
and I try to always hit that 10 mark because you can only have 10
Yep.
posts. And so if I'm struggling, sometimes I'll just go to like reaction video sites on like Twitter and stuff, and I'll wait till I see a video and I'll be like, oh, I could say that about this. And that's how I'll go backwards. So, yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel good because I'll do the latter a lot because this
Mhm.
memory of mine is so bad, and it's like you and like Joe Gunn. I don't know if you know who that. Like
Oh, yeah, Joe's
l-
hilarious.
you two will post things, and I'm like, how did they even remember this? Like
It's
it's
really
an
just
art.
about, yeah, it's about just being, just remembering those silly, funny little moments
Yes.
that otherwise mean nothing. And then, if you never know, fast forward 5 years and a housewife might get arrested for fraud and go to jail and be like, you know what, I could use this moment and talk about
It's
that.
so there. I live for your memes. I live for
Thank
them.
you.
Love them. Love them. Love them. Well, welcome to She Speaks Bravo. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, yeah. So what I do with all my guests is I go through the cast and you give me your thoughts on each person.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. We're gonna
Okay.
start. We're gonna start a little heavy. How about Tamra?
Love Tamra. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm all about legacy veteran
Mm-hmm.
housewives.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's no one that's more surprised than me that I am absolutely obsessed with the New York ladies, because I don't really like change. I like tradition, and I don't like letting go of our key players. So having that being said, I'm happy to have Tamra back. Obviously, I think it's absolutely finally a step in the right direction for OC. I do think that Tamra is doing a bit much this season. It doesn't feel as
Respect.
authentic. It doesn't feel as authentic as her anger in previous seasons. You know what I'm saying? Because
I agree
when
with you.
she gives the iconic moments when she gets pissed off, and I feel like she knows the iconic moments to give, but I don't feel like she's really emotionally as triggered as she has been in seasons past, but she knows what she needs to do. Does that make sense?
That
And
is
no, not
summed it
not
up
even talking
perfectly.
shit. I'm not talking shit by any means, because
Totally.
she's like, no, because I think she'd rather do this than have boring episodes. And she'd be like, y'all brought me back from, so she's doing what she has to do. Um,
Totally agree.
but I just think that, I don't know if it's in the editing or what, but I think that I've seen a lot of other viewers say too, just something about it doesn't feel as the authentic Tamara that we're used to.
I
That's it.
I I do agree with that. Like even at the last dinner in this episode, it's like she almost tried to start something with Emily, but she's like, oh, that didn't work. And then she went over to Jen. I'm like, I get, you can see, veteran viewers can see what she's doing.
I think, yeah. And it's, and we
And
are
we respect
so,
it.
we respect, I mean, thank you for the TV. I mean,
Yes.
that dinner
Thank you for the
alone was,
TV.
yeah, that dinner alone was better than, like the last like 2 seasons, in my opinion. But, I think the one thing about OC though is like they're the ones that have always had, the real life shit come up, the evictions, Vicky's mom
Yeah.
passing on camera. I mean, like,
Oh, brutal.
Tamara telling Simon, fuck you, I want a divorce, to his face on camera. So, I think what that is one of the things we like about OC is that they've given us some of the real life shit,
Yeah.
Vicky being scammed because she was conned. Don't get it
She
twisted.
was conned.
I think that when you grow, you have a viewership that grows to appreciate that. They are easy to see through some things, unfortunately.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, Shannon.
Star of the show. I love Shannon. There's nothing I don't think I wouldn't do in the world for Shannon. I just want Shannon to be happy. I think that when you look at housewives that were added, not as OGs, I don't know that there will ever be a greater addition than Shannon Bedore. You know, I mean, I think Margaret was a great one for some time. She's kind of teetered off, in my opinion.
Yep.
But Shannon, you know, and if you think about it, we've had Shannon for a minute. Shannon came on in season 9. So season 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is her 9th year, 9 years. And she's just as fucking entertaining and funny as the day that she stepped onto the scene. So
I can't believe how long it's been.
It's been a long time.
Just because I can't believe that much time has gone by, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We've watched her kids grow up. Wow.
And it's crazy because she joined late in the game. I mean, it was already season 9, you know? So I think that, to me, Shannon is the show at this point. I think it is her show, OC. I do at this point. I mean, of people who
she's lasted through so many recastings. She's lasted
through everything, and she's beloved. Like, no one dislikes Shannon. Like, do I think that she gets on people's nerves and does things that piss people off, like viewers? Yes, but I think the overwhelming majority, which is not the case that often, is that people find her funny and they like her. You know, so we have to celebrate that when we can.
When we can. What about Gina?
Oh.
He just rolled his eyes. If you're not watching.
I'm sure Gina is a great girl to go out with on a Friday night. You know, I'm sure that Gina is fun. She's funny. She has funny moments, you know. But, and everyone's like, oh, look how far she's come. Look how far she's come. Like, as far as like the glam, the spectrum of the glam, you know. And it's like, I don't need the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need them to have that, a little bit of it when they step into the game. For me, it's just like there's no reason that someone who has had, I mean, you got to think she's been on 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now. Like, no iconic moments, nothing like that. And so, and it's not that I don't think she's a bad person. I just feel like she's absolutely done her time on the show. She's not a Shannon, a Vicky, a Tamra, you know, even a Heather, even, you know, or a Gretchen, really. I mean, you know, even these people, I mean, because like Gretchen, people that are gone, you know, even Lynn Curtin, like, at least they gave us moments that people will recognize for years and years and years. Like, I don't know that Gina's given one.
Oh, that is such a read, but so accurate.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, at some point you have to kind of sever the ties and be like, okay, let's cut it before it gets to the point where it's like, this is a fucking joke, because we're almost to that point, you know? And yeah, I mean, I said too, like, I wish so bad that either Taylor would have been full-time and then Vicky as a friend.
Yeah.
Or they could have just did like 5 full-time girls, which I'm usually against, and then had Vicky and Taylor as friends. And I think that would have been fucking brilliant.
Yes.
Or, you know, so I hope that that's the move for next season. Is Vicky, even if she's not full time, I think her is like a strong
friend.
Like how Kathy Hilton was like at every scene, her first season. You know what I'm saying? Like Kathy was involved in everything. You know,
Agreed.
That's the role that Vicky needs. I think
that's actually a great way to bring her back.
I think that it would be fun for her. It's not all the stress of like no one's coming for her life. She's not going to have to, you know, but she'll be able to come in, have fun, stir the pot, collect a check, and go home.
I think that's actually a great use of her, because enough people want her back, but she's, I think, beyond being a housewife and playing that typical recipe card of you start a season, someone comes for you, you fight them all season, then it's like, we don't need that anymore.
And it's like she can play that game with her. Yes, and she can play that game with her eyes closed. You know, she really can. So I think at this point, it's like, have her there in a strong friend role. All the updates we would love to get from her family, her kids, her grandkids, we can easily get that, you know, if they feature her correctly. So yeah, but to answer your question about Gina, I think that, you know, and even watching this week's episode, like the going for Heather stuff, I think that the whole thing between her and Heather is so embarrassing.
I know.
I was like, okay, good. I'm like, is that just me? It just feels so like, could you reach any, like, are your shoulders popped out of socket from the reaching? You know, it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
I get that you feel that Heather isn't necessarily as present as she was before, but y'all were never that close. So, like, I don't understand what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah, and especially since Heather just told her, like, you don't invite me to anything. It's like, okay, so then you're not even, like, hanging out all the time. I was so close. I mean, look, I liked how Heather handled it. So I like that she gave Heather that opportunity to be like, I hear you, I feel you. But
Yeah.
she fully lost me when we'll get to it. We'll get to that.
Okay.
But I understand. What about Emily?
Emily. So I am absolutely guilty. So this is my thing. I am in a period of growth when it comes to Housewives and Bravo. Because, when I used to not like something or something didn't go my way, I would go nuclear. You know what I'm saying? Like that time that Kelly Dodd said, you throw a bomb, I'm going to throw a fucking nuke. That was me. That was me. And so I do have a lot of regrets of things that I have said and memes I've made over the years, of things where I think about just being silly and stupid and not what I'm posting, and that's not okay. And but I try to be better.
Christian.
Yeah, so I try to be better. And one thing I am guilty of is looping Gina and Emily as a duo, which
me too.
Which I think we do not we shouldn't be we're not guilty of anything, because I think they joined at the same time. So it's kind of like, that's how they entered this chapter together. But I think as time has gone on, it is very, very, very evident that Emily knows the Housewives game and Gina is not a Housewives player. Like, Emily knows how to make a scene happen without batting an eye, which is like, it's pretty impressive. She's a great self-producer, but it seems, it's not overly forced. I think she's fun. I think it's funny that we were made to hate Shane season 1, and now he's like the coolest, most laid back,
right?
Like, doesn't give a fuck guy ever. So yeah, I think that Emily joining with Gina, I think definitely put a damper on the perception that maybe viewers, at least I had, for quite some time. But now that I really think that she thrives, and I think that even without Gina and that misconception that we can't all get out of our heads, would really be she's up there.
I'd love to see her without Gina. I really want to see how she moves in the group, because it would be, I think, so different and better.
Yeah, I think Emily on an Ultimate Girls Trip would probably be really good too, because she would know that she knows, she's like, we got a week to make shit happen. She's going to make some shit happen,
And she does it in that lawyer factual way where she comes in and she asks the right questions.
Exactly. And I think that, like, she's not like a Bravo fangirl, but she does seem like someone who knows the landscape of the shows and like what's going on. So I think she would be able to be like, she would know like what was going on in the lives of the people around, that might be on the show with her. So
she knows how to play the game. She's playing it correctly. Exactly.
She is.
Not too much, but playing it enough.
Yeah. So I last night seeing the conversation with her and her mom, I just moved home, from the West Coast after being there for like 7 years. Like, I just got a job offer out of nowhere, completely unexpected. Never, ever, ever would have moved back to North Carolina. Always said I would never move back. I got the chance to be an hour and a half from my mom and dad. So I was like, I'm an only child. Like, they're not getting younger. Like, let's do it for a while, And so watching that last night, just obviously mine and her situations are completely, completely different, but just that realization of being like, you got to enjoy your parents in every aspect that you can, while you can, and do all you can to have that time with them. So I respect that. And I hope that we
be in LA, right?
Yes, I was in LA for like 6.5 years, and then I was in Seattle for a little over a year.
Oh, okay. So you really were West Coasting it.
Oh yes, I born and raised in North Carolina. Went to college at UNC Charlotte. 2 days after I graduated from college, I moved to LA. I was on a one-way flight, and that's where I was until March I was on the West Coast till March of this year. I just got back to Charlotte like 3 months ago.
Wow, is that crazy?
It's fucking wild. Sorry, am I allowed to curse a lot? Yeah,
all the time.
Perfect. Yeah, it's wild. Because I never, ever thought that.
Right? But, it was a never gonna happen situation.
Never. But look at how the world works, because when I lived in LA, I worked for a talk show called The Real, which is where the show Garcelle was on. So Garcelle was my coworker for like a year and a half. But before that, before Garcelle came on, like her first season, my boss was an executive producer, was this lady that I worked with for years. Okay. And but she ended up leaving the show like after COVID, And we were Facebook friends, but we hadn't really talked in like years. Out of nowhere, she messaged me on Facebook when I was in Charlotte for Christmas break to visit family and friends, and said that she had just accepted a job here and wanted to know if I had any interest in moving back. So my boss from LA moved to Charlotte, where I'm from, and hired me to move back. Yes.
Well, that was meant to be.
Totally meant to be.
Wow,
Yeah.
That couldn't have been more perfect.
So I'm waiting.
It was a sign you got to move.
What the meant to be reason was, because it really hasn't hit me quite yet. But I know it's coming.
It's coming. It's somewhere. That's so funny. That felt like it was absolutely like your path, though. So I get why you said yes. I get it.
Yeah, like when it was presented to me, I was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what I want to do. Like, I have."
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
We always concern ourselves with aging in the face, but let's not forget the hair. We must take very special care of our hair. It's the new skincare. If you are not using satin pillowcases, trust me, not only does it save your hair, but it also saves you from wrinkles. That is why I've been using Kitsch for maybe 6 years now. Whatever your budget, your skin type, your hair type, Kitsch believes that you deserve little indulgences at affordable prices, morning, noon, and night. Kitsch is a female-founded, self-funded company that started in 2010, and they sold hair ties door to door. They hustled, and now they're carried in over 20,000 retail locations. Kitsch's bestsellers, which is how I got into Kitsch, are their satin pillowcases. They also make satin caps and eye masks, and the satin is vegan and cruelty-free. And they are so vital for your hair and skin while you sleep. You gotta protect and prevent. They also have heatless satin curling rollers, so say goodbye to heat damage. These are the original, the OG, and still the best heatless curlers. Don't settle for knockoffs. Get the ones that started the craze. Kitsch also has rice water bars that could help with overall hair growth and density, and rosemary scalp oil. That helps with scalp health and hair strength from the root to the tip, and they have so much more. Right now, Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/shespeaks. That's right, 30% off anything and everything at mykitsch, spelled mykitsch.com/shespeaks. One more time, mykitsch.com/shespeaks for 30% off your order. Yeah. Okay, what about final one? Oh, no, there's two final ones. How about Heather?
Okay. Heather, buddy, editors are letting her have it this year, aren't they? With the
They heard the note that they think Heather got the good edit last season, and they went, watch this, hold my beer.
I appreciate fairness, but now it's not showing us anything that we as viewers don't know. Yeah. But I guess that we don't really feel it to the extent that these women feel it in scene with her. And so, then the constant flashbacks of things that she has said over recent seasons, and then the shoveling shit thing.
Yeah, man.
But also, can I be honest? I feel like I just wish that she would be careful with what she says, because she's just handing them shit and they're running with it. And I don't know that any of them really even have an issue with her. They're just,
it's too easy.
It's too easy. And I'm like, why is everybody mad at Heather? What the fuck did Heather do? Heather didn't do anything. She was kind of rude to Taylor about the acting thing, but I don't know. I feel like they're really, really gunning for Heather this year. And I went a couple weeks without watching. Then I had to catch up. I had 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
This was last week. And so I tweeted last week. I was like, sorry if I'm, just watching too fast and missing something. I was like, but it feels like this is a gang up that's not deserved. It just felt like, I don't know.
I agree, because when when Gina and Emily were so passionately mad at her at that dinner for being fake friends with Tamra, I was like, where is this coming from?
And I was like, and let us not forget, like you said, but too, Heather was the one that had the issue with Gina at the start of the season. She's like, bitch, I haven't heard from you.
Yeah.
So I mean, no fucking. Of course, she's gonna link up with Tamra, her friend that she knew before you.
Yeah.
Hello, her.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, but yeah, I kind of, in a weird way, I feel bad for him this season.
Yeah, no, I kind of right there with you. Like, I was mad at Heather, like, on the boat because she was, like, kind of dismissed Emily, but then someone pointed out that she seemed to be maybe, like, really stoned too. It was, like, fair, but she
mean,
was dismissive. And, like,
yeah,
absolutely, that's valid for sure. But the way, like, everyone is kind of chiming in, like, Heather's done something that wrong. It's like, by now you guys don't know how Heather is.
I'm
She's like this.
As we talked about before, Shannon came on in season 9. We already had a year or two with Heather before then. Sure, she had a pretty solid break in the middle, but she's the exact same person that she's always fucking been. So
out of touch.
I feel like, yeah, and hello, what are we watching for?
Yeah.
So I just feel, I don't know. I feel like I get their frustration. I don't know that it constitutes the level of confrontation that they are all banding together with and coming at her with.
Which
you know
she
what I mean?
is handling amazingly.
Better than I would, because like I know that
listening.
She has to know too. Like obviously they're like, I'm not dumb. Like I know they're coming for me, but she probably knows too. The more she reacts to it, that's giving them what they want.
It's totally true because she's like, this is absolutely a gang up, maybe for cameras, but I can handle it appropriately or better than they would expect. And then it won't blow up even further.
Exactly. It'll end right here.
Yeah.
And then, which means that if they come at me with something else, eventually audience is going to catch on. Like, okay, this didn't work. Let's go here.
It's a long game move. Totally.
Yes.
Like
So
even Gina was like Gina was almost disappointed when Heather was like, I hear you. She's like, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
What else do we got? Emily,
I'm really hoping we can drag this one out for another episode.
What the fuck else has she done to me over the last year? What can I talk about? Come on.
Okay, last. How do you like the new Jen?
I love Jen.
I
think that obviously we got some fine tuning to do as far as like, as we were talking about before, the game of Housewives, like playing the game. Because she's dealing with the best of the best when it comes to the mind games. Like Tamra is like the big brother. Like when you think about Big Brother and like the mind games that go into being in the Big Brother house, like that's like Tamra being, so
good comparison.
I think that Jen naively thought that this was going to be a fun thing with probably a little bit of drama. And the last person that she would have drama with would be Tamra. She should have known that would be the literal first person, if not the only person she had drama with. And that seems to have been pretty much, she hasn't really had any real beef with anybody else this season yet. So
I said last week, I go, Jen is one of the very few people left that will be on one of these shows naively and innocently thinking it's about friends having fun.
There can't be that many of them left that believe
exactly. So I was like, they found her. They found this.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I'm so shocked by Tamra. I'm like, perfect. Yes. Yeah. Because when Noella came in, she had such an agenda for how to be a housewife. Jen legit thought this was just going to be girlfriends hanging out.
Jen thought they were shooting it on their iPhone like it was a little project. She showed up, she's like,
project.
There's like a whole crew here.
Damn, how long have you guys been doing it like this?
But I think she has great potential. She's fun, she's beautiful. I love her family. I love all the kids. So obviously there's plenty of television moments to come with that man of hers and her. So I think that they got it right with her. First casting success in OC in quite some time.
Agreed. And I think Tamra said, I think it was last week, where she's like, if I didn't care about her, I wouldn't be saying all this. And I'm like, translation, I wouldn't be giving her any camera time or a storyline.
Yeah, I'm bringing her into this world.
She's like, you're welcome, trust me.
But then she, on another hand, is saying that like they weren't really that close in the 2 years leading up to the show. So True. I'm like, so I don't know. I feel like reunion might be tough for Tamra. I don't know.
I think it will. 100%. Yeah. There's so much footage of her being two-faced already that they already could do a reunion with just Tamra. But Tamra's really good at being like Well, I didn't really mean that. That's how I meant it. I meant it like this. And she just says it in a way that you're like, okay. Even though it's like, I
fucked up.
watched you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just
Moving
takes
on.
it and runs, takes it and runs. And so
Yeah.
it's
Take
probably
it or leave
tough
it.
to work with, but it's effective. All right, let's get into the actual episode. Okay. Gina trying to make her fight with Heather a thing really was effective because they gave Gina this whole opening monologue with like intense suspense thriller music underneath it.
God.
And it's like, Heather is having a sushi party and she will acknowledge my feelings or I will not continue a friendship with her. And it's like, roll credits.
It's just like, you know that meme of the lady just slapping the kid? She's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we get to the good shit? Like, what?
It's a conversation. I'll give her that. Like, you can have a conversation with her, but you're turning this into something.
It's like you're trying so hard to make it a moment. And it's like, for the love of God, do less. You know, please, we need Emily to coach her friend. On making it a little natural. Tone it down.
But it seems like Emily's ready to co-sign away. She's like, absolutely. Like when they kept doing flashbacks of more of that conversation, and Emily's like, I agree. We must be missing something. There must be some shit that was said off camera that was like scathing about Tamra or something from Heather.
There's like a weird underlying tension that I don't know what it is. Like, did Heather I don't know, did she like halt production or some shit that like no one knows about? Did something go down? Did she, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
something happened.
I have no idea, but you're right. Like there's just, it's weird. It's weird.
It's bizarre.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
We see, I don't know if this is the first time we're seeing John's tiny little boathouse, but I didn't realize just how tiny it was and that like I wouldn't want to live there either. But of course, in this scene, we have this whole Shannon confessional where she says that she sees a future with John and she's just taking her time. And it's when you have that soundbite and you know the way it ends, you got to use it. Yep. Obviously. And I was confused as to what John was upset with her about. Like, he's like, you work too much. I want you to wind down and make sure you have time for fun. And then, of course, Shannon, do we not have fun? And he's like, oh, no. Yeah, no, we do. Your head is always spinning. I just want you to turn it off. And then Shannon just has her head down. It reminded me of how she was with David towards we only saw them unhappy, where she just kind of gets like, she just puts her head down and she's defeated. Like, okay. Yeah. So, okay. Thanks for giving us that.
I mean, I'm glad that they had like what seemed to be a little fun run for a little bit, but like Shannon even said, like when she said in her confessional, she's like, I mean, she's clearly was a realist. Like, she's like, do I want to be with him for the rest of my life? Would that be great? Of course, but at the same time, she's like, we both still, I mean, some of their kids aren't even in college yet. Like, yeah, they're getting ready for college, but like that's a whole other chapter, itself. And it's like, I respect her for being like, look, it's something I want, but kids come first. And if it doesn't work out, it is what it is, so
agreed.
I'm hoping that she's able to, through the breakup, we haven't got to see, obviously, because it was after the season, but I hope that that's like the mentality she's leaning on, that's able to get her through it. I don't know, but Shannon deserves the world. So I hope that we got to find her. I want to find her a good, rich man.
I think she needs an older, rich man.
I think older would be good too.
Yeah, it's like she reads older than like Tamra, let's say. Like she needs someone a little who like, you know what I mean? Because John saying he wants to have fun and stuff. I'm like, oh, you want to have some sort of like bachelor bullshit? I don't know what the hell you want. Get out.
Yeah. But he strikes me like wanting to go to like Vegas on the weekends, and Shannon's like, no, we can go to like maybe like Palm Springs. You know what I'm saying?
And so an older guy, like maybe even 70, I don't know, but like a hot 70 would totally
like 65,
work.
Mid-60s, totally.
Yes,
that's what I'm rooting for her.
We love that for her. It's not happened yet, but we're putting that out there for you, Shannon. We want it for you.
Yes.
Okay, at the nail salon, we have Heather, Emily, and Tamra. And here goes Emily asking a question she already knows the answer to pretty much. How was Taylor on the trip? I don't really know her. And Tamra goes, ask Heather. And then I love Heather's like, well, she thought I was condescending and belittling. And Emily goes, oh, yeah, I heard about this. So they flash back to her hearing the entire thing. I'm like, well done, girl. Well, you got to ask the question. And Emily tries to like slip this in as if with like the tone in her voice. She's like, sometimes you can be a little hurtful.
She said it as well as someone could have, I think.
And then Heather goes, I'm going to respond to that because that wasn't very nice. And I was like, it wasn't too bad. I mean,
it was basically like, I understand Heather doesn't like what she's hearing. No one wants to hear that about themselves, obviously.
Yes.
But.
And then she tries to explain it to like make it better. She's like, I was packing up 2 children for college and I took time out of my day. And Tamra goes, okay, that kind of sounds
Emily's like, thank you so much for proving my point. Can we wrap up this conversation now?
Yeah. Like, see what I'm saying? Like when you talk about how you've got all this stuff going, you know, and I realize I have an aunt that does this where she'll be like, she'll force you to look. She's like, I had such a day. I had to go to Target. And then after Target, I went to Ralph's. And you're like, this is just living. Like, this is just life. And I feel like Heather kind of does that because she doesn't really have a concept of like, well, clearly she doesn't. She's like, I loved shoveling shit because it really shows me how hardworking people really live. And you're like, ooh, okay.
Dear God.
She cannot like, help but be this oblivious, I don't think.
I was like, wow. That was one of the more rough things I feel like I've heard her say over the years. I was like, oh.
Because she really didn't mean anything by it.
I know.
She genuinely meant it.
And normally, like, she's so, like, poised and poignant with, like, her delivery and, you know, even her vocabulary choices. That statement was literally the most rough-edged thing that she has ever done. Like,
yeah. And she just kept repeating it. And then she turned the candle into, like, the circle back of the joke. We're like, oh, no.
Yeah. And then we're like, no. I was like, why is she hanging on to this so hard?
She's so proud of herself for doing it. She's telling everyone, I am one of the people now, you guys. I get it. They're like, nope,
she's
doesn't
like,
count.
I'm basically a Montana resident at this point.
Totally. I am a farmer. Emily's like, well, maybe you just don't have self-awareness how you come across. Heather's confessional was pretty psycho. She goes, don't make sweeping judgments. Do you want me to bring up your mean, unattractive aggressiveness?
Yeah. When she said that about Tamra, I was like, oh. Because, I mean,
was that about Tamra? I thought it was about Emily.
Oh, I thought the aggressiveness
I guess it could kind of go
Tamra.
Either way.
Because I'm pretty sure it was about Tamra because I was like, it felt like that was like a little pent up thing finally coming out because she's never said anything like that about Tamra. Like she said that Tamra like will lash out and go after you, but to call, or she said unattractive aggressiveness or something. Basically, it was a nice way of calling someone trashy and wild, in my opinion.
Trashy and wild. That should be the name of like Tamra's autobiography.
Trashy and reactionary. Yes.
Yes.
Tales of an OC wife.
I love the shot of the woman getting her nails done, looking directly in the camera going, wow.
I know. That's like my dream is to just be somewhere and like then be like in a full filming situation, you know. I would just love to see it.
Like as you're walking in, they're like, "There's going to be cameras rolling for the Real Housewives of." I'm like, yes, give me the waiver.
Sign 100%. Whatever. Yeah, use my likeness for fucking a million years.
Yep. I will be doing a lot in the background, so feel free to use it. Look, camera on me, baby.
Yes.
Gina and Jen have a kumbaya moment. Gina brings the gift to Jen. Gina did do a good job here of finding a way to maybe wrap this up. She says, I was forced to deal with things that I should have processed years ago. And to me, that was her way of saying, and now, not your problem, and I'm going to move on. Totally. You know, because it's like, okay, please, let's wrap it up. And look, Gina has always bothered me because she wasn't honest with us from day one. She was like giving different versions of stories, and that really drives us as viewers crazy. So she has been in denial all this time. What it did more is make me realize that I've been more frustrated at her this whole time. And now I'm like, So now you're going to deal with it? Like, I feel like you kind of
Yeah.
dragged on what storyline should have happened 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Literally 3 years ago.
So it feels like I'm frustrated. Like, now I want to care about this for you, Gina, because you went through a lot.
But I also don't want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
you can't, it's like, it's almost unfair. You can't bring up something from 3 years ago. That storyline is over.
Yeah, and like that girl wasn't even part of the group then, which like obviously that doesn't matter. Like it's your life, but at the same time, it's just like, come on, you know.
And like when I had MJ on, and she said, look, she has 3 kids. She was taking care of them, and he's out having an affair. Like it was absolutely a betrayal. Totally.
Yeah.
But again, we should have already dealt with this. So way to wrap it up, Gina.
Yeah,
we're done, right?
Yeah, talk about that to like in your confessional or in therapy. Don't take that out on the new girl.
Yeah,
who's just like, who herself said she was in a fucking unhappy marriage for 25 years, and now she, unfortunately, through the wrong way, found maybe somebody else that she liked. You know,
exactly. Jen, of course, we have to have this soundbite because we know how the episode ends. She has I'm actually in a really positive place with Tamra. I feel like things are going to go great. I'm like, cut to, yeah. So you know that's coming. You know it's coming. The scene with Emily showing Shane the pictures of her childhood that her mom sent and she's crying. I loved this scene because I have it's just because Emily hadn't really processed her own feelings on it. It was always sad to me that Emily seemed to be mad at her mom for being depressed. But it's like now she's saying, we didn't know as kids what was wrong, and I'm realizing now she just needed help and needed
it wasn't
to talk
her
to
fault.
somebody.
Like I think she thought that her mom chose to be like a distant mother, and now she's realizing her mom was battling things and just handling it as well as she could, which is so sad. And just, I mean, thank God her mom's still here and they can, you know, they can look back on it. I mean, and you could feel like when they were talking on the phone, like without Emily even saying why she was crying, I think her mom knew, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I get chills just talking about, you know, there's nothing like your mom. So, and I just think that was such a good moment. I'm assuming producers got her mom on a plane as soon as that phone call happened. I hope that we get to see them together. But yeah,
I was crying at the end of this conversation because like she's crying, then her mom's crying, and then I'm crying because I was just like,
I mean, I think it would even be great to see her fly to. I think it'd be good to see her take one of the girls and just go to like you know how sometimes it'll just be like 2 girls that go somewhere for like a work trip or like a family thing. Take like, you know,
who would she take?
Shannon. I think that would be fun. Is take Shannon. And
Emily
then
and Shannon would be such a fun little duo trip.
Go to Ohio and like take her out to dinner, take her to like a spa or something, you know.
Yes, and have Shannon just be like, "What's this? What is this?" Because Shannon's always so appalled at everything. What are we doing?
Would be. I just think it would be so cute, and it would be a change of scenery, you know. And I don't think the OC girls had been to Ohio before, so.
Right? And I agree, not a full cast trip. We don't need a full one. We just need like when Lisa Vanderpump and Lisa Rinna went to get the mini horse.
Exactly. Just hop in real quick, you know. Yeah, totally. And even like they don't even have to stay like a whole weekend. They could just fly like in, you know, like an early red eye or early morning flight, stay all that day, fly back the next night, you know, like something super simple.
Super simple. Look at us producing, honey.
I mean, hello. I'll give you a discount, Bravo. Call your girl.
Okay, question for you. Had you ever heard the term off-gassed or off-gassing?
Never in my fucking life.
I thought I was crazy.
And I was like, just say you bought fucking something consignment. You bought it. You thrifted it.
I was like, off-gassed?
I got it used. To me, used sounds a lot nicer than
off-gassed. If someone replied to me and said, no, it's off-gas, I'd say, I take it off. Like, it sounds gross.
To me, sounds like a fake designer. Like off-gas sounds like a faux thing.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
like it's off-brand.
Yes.
Yes, it was. I never heard it, but there she is saying it. Okay, I'm glad I'm not
and then even in the producer asked her, he was like, is this something like, is your thing off gas? And I was like, why is everyone pretending that this has been a word before today?
That's what screwed me up, was the producer using it too.
No,
I was like, don't say it all casually, like, you know.
In my fucking life. No. Thrifted.
Never. Thrifted.
Easy.
Hello. Duh.
Yes. I appreciated Shannon. I don't know how much Shannon has actually thrifted, but I remember
Right?
like back in the day, and like, I mean, obviously David had money, but
Yes,
like
he
I remember
did.
like their house and their closet and stuff, like she used to have so much nice shit. I'm sure she still has a lot of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering maybe that's her trick to collecting a lot over the years is just buying,
Off-gassed clothes.
off gas stuff. And that's how, she was spending her man's money and she said, but I got it at a discount,
There you go.
And
That's
I
always the
remember,
way to do it.
yes. And I remember her first season, she was talking about like a chandelier that she had in her house. And she's like, but the guy gave me a discount, so I had to get it.
We're on to something.
Yes.
We're on
I
to
remember
something
that
here.
now. Shannon loves them stale. That's what it is.
She can't resist.
Even if it's 10%, she's like, oh, $5 off. God, I'm getting it. Absolutely.
I'm guilty of being that way too. If it's
Of
on sale, I'm
course.
like, well, it's on sale. So if I don't get it now, it'll go away.
Yeah. Might as well take advantage.
Might as well take advantage. Some editing thing happened that was so funny. Heather is getting on the boat to start the like Nobu adventure. And at the
Yeah.
same time, they edit Emily FaceTiming Gina asking if she's excited to go. And I'm like, oh no, are they going to be late? What time are they going to get there? But clearly they just spliced it in. I was like, I feel like they got that reverse. Like they wanted to
They
show
should have
that
got
first
that shot of them. They should have had her
talking.
ask that like
And then-
driving there. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, because then there they are. Then they're showing up. They're on the dock. I'm like, well, that was quick. You guys got ready fast.
Yeah.
Taylor
That
and
is
Heather
funny.
do get a moment to like, I thought Taylor was pretty gracious the way she walked. I could tell she was like, considering everything that's gone on between us, I really appreciate you
Mhm.
extending the invitation. And then Heather is like, I apologize for hurting your feelings. It wasn't intentional. Taylor apologizes. And then in the confessional, Heather's like, I think Taylor is sorry she ever did this.
I know, like what? It's like it's not that serious.
Okay, girl.
Like
This is the thing about Heather. The one thing you can get her on is her IMDb.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't hit her at the IMDb. No.
Do you think that the two seats closest to Andy at the reunion will be? I think it'll be Heather and I guess Tamra.
That's what I'm thinking
And then
too.
so Tamra, Shannon, probably Gina, because Gina will be against Heather.
True.
And then the other side,
or maybe
will
Emily,
be,
because Emily also is going to be fighting with Heather, according to the trailer.
True. So maybe.
So it's just going to be all of them on one cat.
No, I think it'll be Heather, Emily, Jen.
Okay.
And then on the other side, it'll be Tamra, Shannon,
Gina,
and then they'll probably bring Vicky out. If they do
for
bring Vicky out and
Mhm.
Taylor, and then they can put Vicky between Shannon and Tamra, and then they could put Taylor between on the other side. Like
you just nailed. I'm sure that's actually exactly what's going. You heard it
I'm
here
over
first.
here. I like literally just blacked out and was like literally just mapping it out all in my head. I didn't even see. I just saw the reunion stage.
I
Yeah,
felt
sorry.
it. You're like, where am I?
Yeah, I just snapped back into it. I'm like,
hello.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, we're here. No, you were there. You were there.
I was. It's done. It's a done deal.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
It's over. It's done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Thank you again,
Oh,
Christian. You're doing their job for him. It's like they better listen and just take notes.
I know.
Lauren, the acting coach, is invited. Which didn't Heather just meet her?
She just met her, and I'm like, I'm down for her to be in a group scene. Like, I would love to get to know her more, but it felt like this was just like a lot coming to a head at once. I felt like, and bless her heart, she was right in the middle. They didn't even have her on the end or nothing. Like
she's engaged.
Like, I'm like, Oh my gosh, she showed up thinking that they probably paid her a small little day rate to come in, and she was like, God,
a lot. She did not realize what she was saying.
I thought I came here to, like help people learn how to act, not, I don't know. Yeah. But maybe they're auditioning, maybe they're trying her out.
Agreed.
I don't know.
It's possible.
I got that vibe as well.
She fit right in. Like when they got to that dinner, she was like, I'm here, I'm gonna listen. She did some great active listening, and then she was involved. It was good.
I would love to talk to someone like her who is not like a full-time cast member, but had that full-time experience. Like, I would love to have been like a fly on the wall, like in her car on the ride home,
she
or
calls
at her house.
friend.
When she calls, like, what the fuck did I just witness? You know what I'm saying?
Because we get the edited version. When you see it goes on longer and it's even crazier.
Yes, and she's sitting there probably trying to not be like, am I getting punked? You know, and it probably isn't until you step out of that situation and back into a little bit of normalcy that you're like, right? What did I just fucking witness? You know,
you take your mic off and you're like, okay, wait a minute. Now that I'm no longer on camera.
Have been her friend or the producer that demiked her whenever she was like debriefing, because I would love somebody. Actually, somebody should get her on a podcast to see like what her thoughts were. I would love to hear what she has.
That's a great thing. That's so true.
Yeah.
Emily does her job and she's like, tell me about Montana, because I already pretty much know all of it. I just want to hear you all say it in a group setting. Well done. Mm-hmm. Well done.
The second time Emily has brought up drama that she had nothing to do with, wasn't even in the state for. She's
like, don't worry, I'll still be a part of it. You will not forget me on this Montana trip.
She said, we're going to earn our checks today, girls. Yeah,
she said, don't you worry. And Tamra right away is like, well, Gina was triggered by Jen. And Jen's like, well, you know, moving forward, and we're good. And then
Jen's like, can y'all keep my name out of y'all's fucking mouth for 5 minutes?
Please, I'm tired. Please. I'm new. Can you give me a second to acclimate?
You know?
And Heather she's like, it's just about moving forward. And Heather's like, it's all about moving forward. I'm all about that. And Gina, I don't know. Okay, personally, this is just my personal opinion. She's like, I know what Heather's doing. She knows I'm pissed at her, and this is her way of, you know, basically being like, move on. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I really don't think that Heather's even thought about it for like 0.2 seconds.
And that's, I didn't get that, but I'm like, okay, you really are just like anything she can tally, she's tallying right now.
Yes, and it's like, and all of this without you acknowledging the fact that you completely ignored her during the off season of the show. And we're like having events, and she was finding out on social media. No friend wants to do that, good or bad friend.
Yeah,
that's
good or bad friend.
Like whether you're close or not. Like if wants to see other people hanging out, and you think that's your friend, and you didn't get an invite, you know.
Totally, 100%.
But now, how does Gina have all these issues with her? It's just so misplaced and bizarre to me. I do not get it.
Yeah, well, she's like, I can't have a problem with Jen anymore, so let me move on to Heather.
Yeah.
It's giving that a little. I mean, I do understand her being hurt by Heather saying Matt's going to probably, I'm not Matt, sorry. Travis is probably going to leave you if you keep talking about your feelings. Because seeing how Travis handled the conversation with Gina was like, oh my God, this guy's an angel.
Yeah, he's a total sweetheart.
Right. So I can see her bringing that up, but then when she brings up other stuff, I'll get into it. Let me move through this chronologically.
Pick a lane.
So much happens in this dinner. It was amazing. It was a great dinner.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
Have you ever been on a hunt for your new perfect doctor? The doctor that hears you, listens to you, makes you feel comfortable, honors your concerns. So you're asking everyone for a rec, but then of course they're not in your network and it's just a whole hassle. Well, wipe those tears away, put away the ice cream and head over to ZocDoc to find and book the doctor who is right for you and takes your insurance. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can even filter specifically for ones who take your insurance or are located near you and treat almost any condition you're searching for. These docs all have verified reviews from actual, real patients, not bots. And the average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 48 hours. That's it. You can even score same-day appointments. Once you find the doc you want, you can book them immediately with just a few app taps. App taps. No more waiting awkwardly on hold with a receptionist who's kind of rude. I use ZocDoc for my dad, who just moved back here from Florida and needed a general practitioner. Super easy. ZocDoc, put in his insurance, put in general practitioner, searched within a certain radius of where we are, and boom, he has an appointment on Friday. Go to ZocDoc.com/she speaks and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/she-speaks. ZocDoc.com/she-speaks. Emily goes, but I want to know about Jen's past in order to get to know her more. And Tamra's like, oh, I can pick a fight with Emily real quick. She goes, but you already knew about her past though, didn't you? Like, I mean, Tamra, like,
what does that even matter? Like, who cares?
She, at this point,
let her do her job.
Tamra's fucking drunk already.
What is up with like? I know that we've seen Tamra drink in other seasons, but it's like I'm like
excessive.
Well, I'm like wondering, like, did she just not drink at all the entire time she wasn't on Housewives? Because I'm thinking like she's like one drink in, and she's just her tolerance isn't what it used to be.
Exactly. She's talked about how she doesn't really drink in real life when they're not filming, and she works out all the time. She eats really clean, so she can't drink.
We've seen her
multiple
and Vicky
tequila
and Shannon,
shots.
But we've seen them do 30 fucking shots, and get up the next day and go to breakfast. Like, so it's crazy to me that she is getting to the level that she's screaming and throwing things, and when people are otherwise like, what?
Yeah, agreed. I love Shannon calling dick pics penis pictures.
Oh, yeah.
The penis picture.
Penis photos.
The penis photograph.
I love it.
I think we should change it to that. It's a penis picture. I got a penis picture.
From now on Grindr, I'm going to ask guys, do you have any penis photography? I love
that
it.
really makes it sound classy. It changes it totally.
Oh God!
So then along comes Emily. Emily's like, "Hold on, I got a good one for you, Jen. Are you worried that you're ignoring red flags just because you want it to work out so much?" Damn. I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but okay, girl.
It's like everybody ignores a red flag, and like no part. Everybody, come on, what kind of question is that?
God, it was so brutal. Jen's like, well, look, if he were to fuck up, there would be a problem. And Tamra interrupts and goes, now her eyes are like shutting because she's so drunk. She's like, didn't he already fuck up? I was like, uh-oh.
Dear Lord,
And Jen's face, she's like, what are you doing again? I'm trying not to do this with you.
I know. And she's like, I just want to come to do this nice little new job once and not go home with my life in shambles.
Right? And she goes, look, I didn't leave my life of 19 years or whatever it was for Ryan. And then Tamra, for some reason, yells, you didn't tell anybody. I'm like, tell anybody? And I love Shannon being like, okay, well, hold on. Like, not everyone wants to like broadcast that they're not doing well. Like that's not absurd.
A lot of times it's also self-acceptance. Like you're denying to yourself that there's even
I did that with my past long-term relationship. I was in total denial. I didn't talk to anybody about my relationship after a while.
And I can't imagine when that's compounded in marriage and with
all
marriage,
these kids.
And then again, she talks also about how her family basically loves him more than her. Like they're so obsessed with him. And so, I mean, I get it. The fact that she ever got out of the marriage is like, what she did, what she had to do.
I agree. She did what she had to do. We have to forgive and move on.
Mm-hmm.
But
and she's not like a Margaret who's out here bragging about like,
right. That's
being in affairs and showering so your wife doesn't smell you and laughing it off. Like that shit's fucking disgusting. She admits, like, look,
it was wrong. I regret how it happened, but it happened.
Yeah,
it's like how many times can she repeat this?
But exactly.
But it's to me, what's happening here is Tamra is like short circuiting because she's drunk, and she's like, I just want you to be honest because this would be a better storyline. And she's like getting frustrated, or that's all. Like she's lost the plot on what's even happening.
I don't really know what they want her to say. Do they just want her to say we fucked while I was still technically married? I mean, she's still they're still not technically divorced.
Oh, that's right.
So like technically, unless she's celibate, she's still. I mean, it is what it is. Like who knows what their mentality or their state of their relationship was in that moment.
Right.
Like, and also, and this is. I mean, I get that we want reality, but this is involving someone that's never been on the show. You know, like this.
Yeah. How much do you want from her?
It's not like he's someone who was on the show last season and they broke up and now she's just not telling us that she cheated and moved on. You know, like this is something that she's like, author, this shit was like 3 or 4 years ago. This was like pre-COVID.
That's what I thought.
And she's like, why? And she said on Watch What Happens Live, she's like, it's just so weird that we're talking about it at the number of times that we are at this late in the game. And I was like, that's because they're trying to bring you, they're coming for you, girl, and they're grabbing onto anything they can. Welcome to the game. It's dirty. Yes. It's a dirty world out there, girl. You don't know.
And if she can hold on, she'll be back next season for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, again, she's the best newbie that they've had. I mean, I don't consider Taylor a newbie because she was a vet and OG on Beverly Hills, obviously. But she is the best casting addition they've had in quite some time, and I
totally agree.
It would be ridiculous for them to not bring her back, and I don't see her not wanting to come back.
Tamra's making sure of it. She's like, don't worry, girl, I'm about to give you all the controversy, and
absolutely,
people love that.
And then you get that little 10% bump next season.
See?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Totally.
And I'm sure, I mean, if she's playing her cards right, hopefully, you know, her yoga studio will get a boost, and I mean, we'll see, you know.
Agreed. I know, right? People will go. I actually became curious in her yoga studio as well because.
Yeah. Or if she plays her cards right, now's the time. So start leaning into it. Start growing your brand and grow a yoga athleisure brand. You know, like clothes, all that stuff under the name of your actual yoga studio, and then you know you can end up opening other studios in other cities and things like that. Like, get with it, girl.
You are full of advice today. Production cast.
I always have I got lots of ideas up here. Always, they always just flying around
up in that dome.
Yeah.
Emily does her job again, and she goes, "So Tamra, are you worried he's not going to be faithful to her?" And she goes, "Yes!" And screams.
Jen's like, "What the fuck is it to you?" Yeah.
Or she screams. She goes, "No, I don't," and that's what fucking hurts, Jen. Jen's like. But it hurts that you air out all my dirty laundry or my fucking shit. And then out of
season, you're saying that y'all weren't close in the 2 years leading up to filming. So why the fuck would you care?
Yep.
I mean, obviously you don't want that to happen to anyone. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, don't be out here acting like that's your best friend whose life's about to get wrecked.
It's
you
like
know?
When people do I'm just concerned. But
yeah, I just want to make sure you're okay. You don't care if I was on fire in a ditch, bitch. You know,
that's the thing.
And that's the shit I hate. I would actually have more respect if someone just came up and was like, listen, I'm just nosy. I just want to know, you know, I would be like, I don't want to fucking talk about it versus you pretending to care. It's like, that's a slap in my face and yours, bitch, because neither one of us are that dumb.
Because that's not how you act like you care about someone. Genuinely concerned, you're pulling them aside privately. You're not like, I'm only doing this on camera.
Or you're texting me when cameras are down and no one's around to see it.
Exactly.
Hello.
So, Tamra, come on now, girl. This is where the inauthenticity is coming in. Where it's like, Tamra.
Now, look, it is a hard line because I appreciate Tamra's like, no, we do it on camera. We do it. This is the show. This is what we signed up for.
Agreed.
But at the same time, it feels like you're kind of like trying to catch her off guard in an authentic way. You know what I'm saying? Versus where I think if you were just like, look, this is probably going to get brought up. And if it gets brought up, I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So don't want to throw yourself off the ship, you know, like just stick with me. But
totally.
I don't know. Yeah.
Tamra then brings up the party where someone told Eddie, like, watch your wife. And Jen goes, do you really want to talk about that party and how you and I were on the phone? To be fair, I was like, what did Tamra say? But then when Jen eventually, like, Jen did make it seem like Tamra was like, I want to fuck him. And
she made it seem way worse than it was. Yeah.
Yeah. It became clear, like, after she finally said what it was, that it was just like, she's just more confused. And it would have been better if she was like, why are you even acting like this is a problem? We were joking on the phone.
Okay. So on Watch What Happens Live, though, she kind of made it make sense because she said, she was like, really? Do you want me to? It's kind of like, do you want me to say what you said? Because she said that her and her man and Tamra were always like, you know how like couples will have that joking like energy where like one of them like, you know, they kind of like flirt in like a silly, stupid way. And she said that like before that guy and her got together, Tamra called and was like, "Hey, hot gym guy is coming to like a party or something." Like that's what they would call him, you know. And so she's saying when he is saying stuff, if he said anything like that about you, it's in the same way that you used to, like it's just there's no level of seriousness to it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you watch What Happens Live because I hadn't gotten to it. This is good to know.
And so I think that's why when she was like, "Really, Tamara, do you want me to?" She was kind of like how you're talking to a drunk person. Like, do you want me to? Like, you're thinking too much into this. Like, stop. You know, like we all said dumb shit, but you're trying to apply meaning to a meaningless thing. You know, that's how I took it. So we'll see.
And I think this Heather Amin character is either wanted Ryan and is pissed that Jen has him. And she is like, I think she tried to get on the show, couldn't get on the show. And she's like, don't worry, I will get on the show somehow.
One way or another.
One way or the I got this. Don't hold my beer because I'm just gonna. She said she released photos of her full first and last name. She's gonna be on next episode. Like
exactly.
Okay. I think when Tamra heard that Jen got the orange, she was like, Heather, guess what? Mm-hmm. Jen's gonna be on the show and it's on. I'm gonna bring it all out.
Well, I feel like Tamra had it coming at both ends. She had Heather, who had this triumphant return last year, who she's now competing with, and she also had a newbie that she was introducing to the game, who she can't let outshine her either. So I feel like she's just kind of.
She's like, "Don't worry, I got this, guys."
I mean,
I'm just going to do shots and shots of tequila.
Tamra knows how to make a good show. And I think that whether, maybe she's a little too much in her head right now, but I think that that's just the struggle and the balance that she's trying to weigh out right now, personally.
I think you're spot on there, 100%. Jen, I didn't get the insinuation that Jen was saying Tamra was like hitting on him, but Tamra was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. You should leave your boyfriend, you fucking bitch.
No. Sorry for throwing the napkin, but I'm fucking livid.
I'm livid. Livid. She's like, the napkin toss was maybe it was the least aggressive, violent thing she could do, if that makes sense. It's like also not the move, but like
it was dumb. It was dumb. Can we just call it what it was? It was dumb, and it shouldn't have even been. I think that them putting it in the trailer made it seem like it was some crazy moment. If they would have just left it to be and not try and build it up to be some crazy thing, I think we would have appreciated it a little bit more. Yeah. But it felt like kind of womp womp to me.
Not the move. It was lame.
Jim was like, okay.
She's like, then she just like has the napkin in her hand. She's like, I don't
storms off, and everyone's just like, okay. Yeah. I mean, Shannon got up and went after her, but everyone was just, I don't know. It felt like everyone was like, God, really? Like.
Yeah. And then I love the rest of the women being like, what did she say? And then this is where Lauren is like, she's in it. And she's like, really? You're going to protect her? I was like, yes, girl, get right in the mix. Don't miss a beat. That was so good. She was genuinely invested.
Maybe she was just like, like you said, so into it. She probably didn't even realize what she was saying. She was like, wait, what?
Yeah, she did. It was like us commenting, like an audience
like,
commenting.
Shit, did I say that out loud? Sorry. I was just thinking it,
That's exactly what happened. But then when Jen says it, they're all like, oh, okay. Like that's not that big a deal. Shannon can access tears very easily at just the thought of Tamra being like, or she's like, if someone was saying that about John, and the tears just start rolling down her face, I'm like, ooh,
I can't.
The Barbie hands, the Barbie hands. I can't.
I love her so much. I can't help it.
She goes there so fast. Emily and Gina, they get on Heather for her fake relationship with Tamra. Emily's really animated about it. Like it felt out of nowhere to me.
And my whole thing is like, you're saying they have a fake relationship. All y'all have a fake relationship,
right?
We're sitting here again, back to Heather's like, you didn't even invite me to a cookout, like a pool party off camera. Why wouldn't you not invite
Emily, do you really like Heather?
It's like, hello, pot meet kettle, and it's like,
yeah.
I think that and they can't really break the fourth wall. So yes. I feel like Heather's kind of limited as to what she can say back,
Agreed.
So moments like that or situations like that is when the reunion will come where she's like, look, like,
yeah.
that's where I would go around and be like, Emily, when's the last time you hung out with Tamra? Emily, when's the last time you hung out with Shannon? Emily, when's the last time you hung out with so-and-so? Thank you. Who's the fake friend? Boom. You know, we're coworkers. Don't get it fucking twisted, you know? So it's like, but
you would be a savage housewife.
I would be savage. I really, really want to get with one of them and like be in a reunion room and like be in an earpiece and just make sure they like wear their hair down and be like, you tell them. You know,
because we as fans, we remember more than they do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So we'd have like a whole list.
And I can only imagine being on that stage for 10 hours, the reunion stage, you know, and the people, the constant hair and makeup touching up and mic checks and can you give me a mic check? Da, 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 da. It's just, I mean, I'm sure that I don't know how they keep their heads on, any of them.
I know, you know? Totally. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Then, okay, so Gina confronts Heather about not being a good friend. Like, I was trying to follow, but then she gives this example of her saying, I'm getting my real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
And then Heather saying, so is Nikki. And how that was condescending. And I was like, well, I hate to break it to you guys. Heather is older than some of you and has children that are 18. So I'm sorry. Also, sometimes there's going to be a relation to her kids. It's not an insult.
No, what the fuck? That's like, so like, that's clearly a you issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be mad that her kid is going to be richer in real estate by the time he's 20 than you, who decided to do it at
later
40
in
years
life.
old.
Yeah,
who cares?
It's like so you have to know.
If you
Gina,
were fucking smart, you'd link up with him because he's going to have the richest clients of anybody. His parents' friends. Duh.
It's like there's an age gap between you and Heather. That's okay. Like, there's sometimes going to be moments where this happens.
If Gina had decided to go back to medical school late in life and Nikki was just now deciding to go to medical school and she was like, oh my God, Nikki's trying to do that. Would that be talking down or diminishing something? No, it's just two paths that people happen to be on at similar paths at different stages in their life.
Yeah, that was a reach to me. Then she finally gets to the Travis thing, and Heather is very receptive. But in the middle of this, Shannon forces Tamra to go back. Lauren, because Tamra goes, what's happening? Lauren goes, she's questioning the authenticity of their friendship. She thinks she's being fake. Got it? Okay. And then just goes right back into the conversation.
Okay, back to it. All right.
Okay, here we go. We are listening, honey. You be quiet.
Back to the popcorn.
Don't ruin it. She was so into it. Okay, but again, Heather, well done. I think she handled it perfectly. But then Shannon starts talking about something, and Heather just so happens to get this text from Terry, and she goes, Shannon, I have to, and then she puts her hand over her mouth. Was this another fake moment? Remember when they get the fake phone call from the son with the stomach ache?
Are you sick?
Are you sick?
Throwing up?
Do you need us to come home?
What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 9:45. We gotta go. And then
that's actually exactly the time.
It cuts to Vicky. Vicky's like, Heather, next time you fake a phone call, make sure your phone screen lights up. No one was on the other end. There was no call.
Girl. Girl.
I'm like,
so this felt again like that.
Yeah, I'm like, but also, like, I feel like Terry was like, you know, because that is Nobu, that's their spot. Like, they absolutely had the table like hot wired, and he knew, like, okay, she's struggling. Send it now. She needs an out. She needs an out.
We learned our lesson last time, so there will be an actual
like a
text.
safe word. I'm serious. Like, yeah.
She did. She texts like now.
And they were at Nobu where she brings her own plates. So
you're right.
I'm just
bugged.
saying.
It was bugged. Terry was like on a headset. Like,
there was something that could have been set up. I'm just saying. Put a little, you know, all you gotta do is put a little, earpiece under there. Good to go.
That would be the best visual, actually. And it's just that, I shouldn't say that, but David filed for divorce on the day of their anniversary, which, was it intentional? Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know, maybe. I'm also like, I don't know. I felt like Shannon was like, who gives a shit? Like, she was like, I don't care.
Yeah, but she's like, now I have to care.
Yeah, and I appreciate it too. She's like, I don't want no crazy shit because that's just going to take away from the money my kids get. Mm-hmm. And I was like, touche.
Good call. Good call. Tamra is so trashed by the end of this that she takes a chair and she pulls it over and she's like talking to Gina, Clearly, whatever they were saying was so not important because we don't even get any of that footage. Like, they don't even bother. It's probably just, she's like, I just want to say, and they're like,
I love when you can see some of the women talking and you can tell that they've edited their mics down so we can hear it anymore.
Because, like, they were talking for a minute. They didn't even bother. They're like, you don't trust me. Nothing even happened that was that exciting.
That's funny.
So next week, Vicky is there. And you love Vicky. She's your girl.
That's my forever girl. Yeah.
She is your girl. Heather Amin will be making her appearance to confront Jen. And Emily is going to tell Tamra that Heather told her something, quote, disturbing about Shannon and John's relationship. And that's going to come out. And we get a moment of Shannon being like, if this goes to air, our relationship is over.
And Vicky's like, I just tried to come back and have fun on the network's dime, have a drink for free, and y'all out here dropping bombs.
The last shot of her just going, ah.
I'm pretty sure that when that happened, she goes, and then there was one.
I didn't think I know this is controversial for you, but I didn't think I'd be excited to see Vicky, but that actually it boosted a little serotonin inside of me. I was like, oh, okay, actually, she is good coming back as a friend.
Listen,
it's nice to have that anchor.
Yes, and you don't know what you have till it's gone. And I think that Vicky being gone for so many years, like, and a lot of, now with like Peacock and a lot of people are very much watching old seasons.
Good point.
Look, we might not agree. There are a few things in life that Vicky and I probably agree on, but she is the funniest fucking person I've ever talked to, I've ever met. She is also one of the nicest, kindest, like most generous people I've ever known. So I think that, us longtime viewers, like, there are people that had their issues with her and wanted her gone, but I think that enough time has passed that that tiny little blip, and we've had enough seasons where it wasn't too satisfactory. They're like, you know what? Let's just have some fun and some humor. And if one thing's true, when Shannon, Vicky, and Tamra get together, we're gonna laugh. So
totally.
I'm very excited. I couldn't be more excited for her to come back. I've been rooting for it since the day that they demoted her. It's been the longest 3 years of my life, but here we are. We made it.
Thank you so much for being here, Christian. You're a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I'll come back anytime. Reach me whenever you want. Yeah.
Okay, you said it. Now I'm going to start asking too much. Oops.
All right.
Tell everybody where you'd like them to follow you and also about your Etsy shop, which is so good, you guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Christian Gray Snow. I make housewives memes pretty much 24/7 as much as I can. And my Etsy shop is theslutpigshop.com. We have over 250 items of all kinds of crazy housewives merch, anything that you could possibly think of. So
it's really fun. The
and
shop is
BravoCon
really
tickets
fun.
are on sale this week. So last year at BravoCon, I was literally just walking around and would see so many people wearing stuff from my shop. People that didn't even follow me on Instagram, which was so insane. That's
awesome.
It was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm going to be trying to, in the next month or so, do a big BravoCon drop, just stuff for people to get just for BravoCon.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God. Congrats. Well, that's a success.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Love you. Mean it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.